Game number one, everybody, between NaVi and the Sandwich Monkeys. We are currently in the semi-final right now, so we are looking at Tomb of the Spider Queen as our starting map. Semi-final of the winner bracket. It's the End of the Storm finals for Europe, and it's going to be pretty great. Stitches is currently globally banned because there's a bug with this hook that can cause some lag, but at the same time now Li-Ming is allowed. She was banned out in most of the games here today. I kind of doubt that we're going to see her in this particular match, but it would be great. It's a best of 3 series, of course. NaVi currently on Tomb of the Spider Queen with the first ban. We've seen a lot of bans on either Zagara or Thrall as the first ban, and then usually Li-Ming coming in as the second ban. But let's see how exactly the teams are going to draft here. I mean, there is still the chance that one of the teams has a special strategy prepared that they can use to make sure that they are countering Li-Ming, maybe like Sniper down. For now, NaVi starting with that Zagara ban. Very, very strong, of course, on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Sandwich Monkeys, are they going to react with a Li-Ming ban, or are they actually going to ban someone else out? You can go for the Rhaegar ban, of course. If Li-Ming is banned, then it's very likely that NaVi is going to react with Rhaegar as their first hero. Thrall is, of course, another hero that we oftentimes see early in the draft. Greymane even getting higher prioritized than Thrall right now. A lot of it is also like personal preference. Like if you have someone on the team that can really play that hero. NaVi is playing a lot with Thrall, for example. They are really liking those setups and those synergies with a lot of other heroes and their heroic abilities. And the Sandwich Monkey is actually giving this a lot of thought right now. They are apparently considering letting Li-Ming go through the draft here, which is a bit of a surprise considering how fast she was banned out in all of the other games that we've seen today. I personally wouldn't mind, as you can probably imagine, so it would be pretty cool to see that happening right now. So, Sandwich Monkeys with a ban on Leoric. They ban out Leoric, they could go into that Cho'Gall again, and NaVi can now go for Li-Ming. Li-Ming is suddenly open, not banned out. And NaVi is saying like, alright boys, then I guess we're going to take her. And that means we're going to see the Sandwich Monkeys with Rhaegar. Well, for now they are looking at Johanna. It would be a bit crazy if they would let Rhaegar slide here. There is no way that they let Rhaegar go. Okay, there's Rhaegar. I was shocked for a moment. That means still though that with Leoric being banned out, NaVi is just simply going to ban Cho'Gall. I'm very interested in Sandwich Monkeys draft because I find that very surprising. So NaVi, they can still think about, they can go into Greymane, they can go into Muradin right now, they can, it really depends if they want to play like one of their combos again or not. A Thrall, for example, is still open for them as well. Can we play it here on Tomb of the Spider Queen too? They have the opportunity to go into a Falstad, like Falstad, Thrall, Muradin, they're all still around. It depends a bit of if you want to just have a frontline that's very difficult to kill, or if you want to have someone that you can combo something off with, ETC. Is another great option here for them. I actually think that they did not think they would get Li-Ming. But we have Li-Ming for the first time taken. Tassadar for vision on the map. Probably going to combo that off with the second healer. Pretty sure that they're actually going to do exactly that later on in the draft. For now, frontliner would be nice. Unless they want to prioritize one of the damage dealers like Greymane, for example, like Falstad. But if they just want to go into like a frontliner, then ETC, Diablo, and also Muradin are their top choices. Then with those, it really comes down to the question, do you want to combo something, yes or no? Do you want to go into a Thrall, for example, then later on as well, which they could definitely do. Like with a Li-Ming, you want to create space for her, right? Like the whole idea is to really keep her safe, allow her to make her plays. And if you can then create a front line that is strong enough to really just like occupy the opponent's setup so that the backline can do the damage, then you're golden. And Li-Ming together with Lunara, I mean, the damage potential that we have here now is out of this world, as you can imagine. There's the Sonya ban. Does NaVi ban Cho'Gall? The Sandwich Monkeys are clearly indicating that they want to take him. And yes, there's the Cho'Gall ban. Makes a whole lot of sense. The last game that we actually had showed a very, very similar setup for the Sandwich Monkeys. They played also. I mean, I have to admit that at this point, I actually think it was a little bit too obvious what they're trying to do here. They must have known that they would probably backfire. And I guess this is plan B then. They said, okay, if we can get that through, we're going to play it again with Cho'Gall. We're going to ban out that Leoric. We're going to make sure that we have a strong Cho'Gall setup here. But if they ban Cho'Gall out, then we have access to some other heroes that we can lock down. And that looks actually very cool here. Sandwich Monkeys with a Rhaegar, Thrall, Jaina. Super strong setup for them right now. So it's a pretty cool situation in which the Sandwich Monkeys just maneuvered NaVi. They had a draft that was really flexible and could have gone either into that Cho'Gall play or could have gone into that play now with Thrall and Jaina. And that looks very, very good for them. So NaVi, they need a good front line. They need a very strong one. Muradin makes a lot of sense against Thrall. I really like the choice here. A second frontliner would be great. Could be an ETC, for example, or Diablo. Both of them would really work well here. And should be one of them, unless they want to go into this double support. If they go for another frontliner, I personally would like ETC so that they can go into groupies and maybe even proc rocks to have something that helps TSaM to keep everybody alive. And Arthas, on the other hand, now we played him already a couple of times. I like that we are seeing Arthas here, so that's actually cool. TSaM has a lot of work to do, but then again, Arthas has his own survivability talents as well. He can go for the Army of the Dead here, even if he wants to, if he feels the pressure. Muradin, it's very difficult to take him down as is, so TSaM can concentrate on Li-Ming and Lunara. But it's interesting to see that TSaM is the only support with two such squishy heroes in the backline. But with such a strong front line, once again, the whole idea here is to create space. Have Muradin and Arthas at the front, occupying everybody, lock down that Thrall as much as you can, and make sure that the backline can dish out the damage, that Lunara is safe, that Li-Ming is safe. And this is one of the toughest front lines that you can imagine. I mean, it doesn't really get any tougher than that. The only other hero that he could have thrown in is Johanna, and she's already picked. Even an ETC is not as strong. He has, of course, his talents that can push opponents away, but this is pretty incredible. And the Sandwich Monkeys with a Tyrande pick. Now, with that, they will have the opportunity to burst targets away a little bit more. I'm not 100% certain that I really like the pick, though. The idea, of course, is clear. I mean, you have really a lot of burst damage with Jaina. You have Thrall for lockdown, and with such heavy frontliner, you can actually think about using Tyrande to burst these targets down. That can definitely work. It's definitely a hero that can do a lot of work for them. What could have worked as well is a hero that can dish out giant killer damage with auto attacks. Falstad has not been taken yet. Falstad would have been a great opportunity as well. You can get a lot of season marksman stats. Muradin and Arthas are both hit point heavy heroes later on in the game, and then giant killer can really do a whole lot of work for you. So that would have been another good option for them, using that Falstad here or using instead that Reyna. And with Falstad you of course have also the disengage thanks to your heroic ability. So there's a couple of things that they could have played with, but they decided to go into the Tyrande, bursting targets away instead. It's a beautiful draft for game number 1. So guys, let's jump in and see who's going to take the lead in the series here. Our first map is 2 on the Spider Queen, NaVi against the Sandwich Monkeys. The game is on, the semi-final in the winner bracket at the end of the Storm Finals, and we have finally some Li-Ming action. She got through the draft and to the left side now. NaVi versus the Sandwich Monkeys. Alex the Frog on Arthas. We have Eternal on Muradin, Danatan on Lunara, Crosby on Li-Ming, and Garan Paquete on TSaM. To the right side of the map, the Sandwich Monkeys, after they just took down their rivals, after they just took down Google. We have BKB on Johanna, Red X on Thrall, Sport Billy on Rhaegar, Zarmany on Jaina, and ADRD on Tyrande. They wanted to go for their Cho'Gall composition once again, but this time they were denied by Cho'Gall ban. Of course, NaVi has watched the last few games that these guys played, and they knew exactly what was coming. Banned the hero out, but still a very solid lineup here for the Sandwich Monkeys. Decided to go for Tyrande last instead of a strong auto attack damage dealer against the double tank line that we are seeing with Alex on Muradin, Alex on Arthas in this case, and Eternal on Muradin. But Tyrande can help them with the extra damage and the vulnerable to really burst these targets down. Once again, we have on level 1, by the way, the perfect storm taken, so a bit of an adjustment here for Eternal. He likes to really go full damage. In some cases, we have even seen him go for Haymaker here on his Dwarf when he really needed to. But with this case now, every single Storm Ball that he throws in is going to help him with the damage. And if he goes for the Sledgehammer, then he can just annihilate structures later on. Did not go into a Reverberation build, which is actually interesting considering that they are up against Red X on Thrall. And Thrall himself, of course, also with very, very good damage there. As a solo heal, Tyrande gone into the Empower build. Oh, and Li-Ming already in trouble. Li-Ming going into the Power Hungry over here. Alright, so the Regeneration Globes that give you the additional power. Crosby using that level 1 talent. Blocked, by the way, on Arthas. Now in this case, of course, on this map you can definitely go for Regeneration Master. It's a preferred talent of a lot of players, but Alex decided against it, even though you can get a lot of these globes. He instead went for block, especially with, of course, Thrall being one of the heroes that he will have to deal with throughout the entire game that can help him to survive. Besides that, we have again the Cruel Spores taken here. It's another talent that we have seen Lunara for NaVi taken already earlier. NaVi really likes to play with the hero here. Again, the Rolling Thunder, the Night Take Spawn, pretty standard talents actually on the side of the Sandwich Monkeys. But it's all about Li-Ming, of course, at this point. Finally, we have in play Don't really have to think about the level 7 talent here. It's going to be the S of Johan for sure. Eternal already there, and Crosby is just like throwing out the orbs at this point. Up to the top, we are currently seeing Alex together with Grand Paquete trying to hold the lane. Of course, the Sandwich Monkeys are rotating. They have the Tirana composition, and with that, there's a lot of snipe potential for them. Danata needs to be very careful. Oh, and he is way too far out. Is trying to get away, but Lunara is dead. Good kill for the Sandwich Monkeys. Lunara just too squishy to withstand this pressure, but at the same time the bot lane is also not really looking too pretty, and that gives a very nice amount of experience to NaVi, who now goes straight into the S of Johan on Li-Ming, of course. We're seeing the Nimble Wisp again, and we have Destruction together with the Thunderburn on Arthas. Wow, Jaina kill here already. Counter kill for NaVi. So NaVi really trying immediately to be as aggressive as they possibly can be. And they lost Lunara up at the top because she was a bit too far out and didn't see the rotation heading her way. But right now, NaVi with the lead in experience, trying to just like pressure the opponent back a little bit. The Lightning Shield talent's taken on level 1. In this case, it is the Electric Charge. F4, especially Thrall, of course. Alex slow and down, but there could be a counter kill against BKB. He gets Storm Bolted and eliminated. Red X moves away, but good kill for a kill exchange here between the two teams. Sandwich Monkeys now with also Pierce on level 4. Of course, that is going to help a lot with the cooldown reduction thanks to the Empower and therefore the heals then later on with the Shadow Stalk. And having at the same time just like still action on the map as both of these teams start to rotate a bit and looking for kills. Danatan in the middle attempting to just interrupt the channels. ADRD turning the 3 in, but BKB is now also back to business once again. He died a second ago, but Johanna is now back, and they are of course trying to like push these lanes back again. On this map in particular, like lane presence, nice kill against Rhaegar here. Lane presence is everything. You are trying to control the map, you're trying to control the lanes. The farther you push them in, the more vision you have on the map, and then you can go for easy turn-ins here. Oh, the Owl actually missing. Danatan cannot turn in though because of Jaina, and Eternal jumps away as that stun could have hit him here. Level 7 talents now with the Rune Tap on Arthas, and we are also seeing an Owl taking Calamity, going immediately for the level 7 talent and the Wild Vigor once again. So the Lunara build pretty solid actually at this point. So that's the build that we've seen throughout most of the games. Danatan really enjoying this one. They had great success already earlier in their first series against Bubble Squad with this build, and they played it in a few of the previous matches as well. So right now NaVi with a very comfortable assassin actually that they can use in their arsenal. And especially for assassin players these days, it's absolutely beautiful. With Li-Ming around, with Lunara being viable, Greymane also allowed, you suddenly have a lot of heroes that you can really rely upon, and that's exactly, of course, great for all of those damage dealer types. Danatan, one of them that's really benefiting from it. And in the last few games, we saw Lunara really taking the top damage, even though now in this game, of course, we kind of expect Li-Ming to take over that role. Both of the teams are now on level 7, or on level 7 talent, but we have already level 8 for NaVi. They're trying to go in for a turn-in. Crosby up here with Li-Ming starting to make his plays, or at least attempting to. The blue Web Weavers are going to be descending. This time BKB did not get the opportunity to interrupt the turn-in. At the bot lane, we have Alex still going up against Red X. The entire wall here is of course already down, and that allows the Web Weavers to go straight for the fort. No talent taken yet, by the way, on level 7 for Tyrande. It looks like she is going to wait with that for a bit longer. I mean, the usual choices here are either Luna or Blaze, or you're trying to go into the level 7, into Battle Momentum even for more cooldown reduction. I'm pretty curious to see how exactly that's going to turn out for Tyrande in this case now. First of all, we are seeing still the top lane being pressured hard. Crosby and Eternal. Danatan is also there, breaking down the wall, going straight through the mid lane here. At the bot lane, the Web Weaver is being defended against by Thrall alone. And at the top, Muradin at least trying to keep BKB at base, that he cannot dish out too much siege damage there. But solid moves by NaVi, and they are now trying to go for the kill against Thrall, moving in from behind with Danatan and Alex up at the top. Still now also the push against, of course, BKB, and with now 4 kills against 2. We're having a solid situation for NaVi. They're relying on the level 10 talents already with Disintegrate taken, the Thornwood Vines. We're also seeing the Army of the Dead. Muradin not taking his level 10 yet. As I said before, we've actually seen the occasional Haymaker for Eternal. Avatar still his preferred choice, but Haymaker can be very annoying. If you jump in and you, for example, like throw a hero like Jaina or Tyrande to the rest of your team, especially with all of these burst damage heroes that we see here, then that can of course be quite devastating. So he's waiting very, very long with the talent, and everybody kind of knows right now that he has been played occasionally with Haymaker, so it's always a huge threat here. Usually we see a few build adjustments then as well, especially with the level 16 talent that he can go for the extra length on the jump. But now having the level 10 abilities as is just such a huge danger to the Sandwich Monkeys, and that is why NaVi has no problems just moving in, dishing out the damage here. Orb after orb is being spammed out by Crosby here. Cooldowns, of course, incredibly low. Once again, a fourth eliminator, and they're 2 levels ahead. Zarmany down here being attacked, and here's the Haymaker. They're going for Haymaker, and Zarmany is now very far out. Haymaker taken. Eternal is starting to lock them down, or trying to just chase Jaina. Jaina attempting to escape, might be able to get away. Where's that Stormbolt? There's the kill, and down goes Jaina. Rhaegar also eliminated at the same time. Now finally level 10 is ready for the opponent, but that's not going to help them. 2 levels ahead for NaVi, and now of course we are seeing once again the mid lane under a huge amount of pressure. That fort nearly eliminated. It's going to be an easy second turn in now for NaVi. They're going to run with their momentum. Sundering, Blessed Shield, Ancestral Healing, Ring of Frost, and Starfall have been taken as the Orog abilities. Interesting choice to go for the Starfall here. Not quite sure what I think about that, to be honest with you. Not that Starfall is a bad talent, but the problem really is that she's the only healer in the team, and letting Shadowstar go, not sure if that's a good choice. Nice burst against Alex, and Alex is gonna fall. Great move on the side of Team Sandwich Monkeys. That was actually very well done here, getting all the damage in. But yeah, that Starfall is still a little bit of a surprise, to be honest with you, because at this point, you really need to get those heals. And usually the idea of the cooldown reduction build, if you go for Battle Momentum, if you go for like Empower, is really to get the heals out, to just improve your healing numbers and make Tyrande viable as a solo support. In this case, it's of course also going to reduce the cooldown of Starfall, which is going to allow them to spam that out a lot more. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they are going to try and survive in the later stage of the game when those heals are something that they desperately need. Still Crosby, of course, making this move here. Illusionist has been taken as his level 13 talent, so Calamity and Illusionist already going straight here for the synergy between the two talents. We're having also Lunara with the unfair advantage now. The Wild Vigor taken on level 13, on level 7, as already mentioned before. And here comes once again the pressure play at the bot lane. Damage-wise, 13,000 now on Li-Ming, so exactly as expected. Look at her siege damage in particular. She's already at 87,000 siege damage. Absolutely insane here. Throwing down the orbs and all those missiles has definitely taken its toll now. Once again, the wall is being obliterated. We're 9.5 minutes in, and we're already talking about keeps here. Keeps are being attacked right now. The Web Weavers are there. We have in terms of like gems still 50 on the side of NaVi. They're attempting to burst one of those camps down here away now. But BKB has already seen that. The Force Wall is buying a little bit more time for Alex and his boys, and they are going to get it. So once again, camp has been taken. Mirrodin is trying to go for the Haymaker here, but is not able to get behind the target. Instead, throws out the Stormbolt and retreats once again. Damage output here of Li-Ming is absolutely phenomenal. So once again here with the build, as we already mentioned a little bit earlier, Lunara, by the way, still back at home. We're having here with Power Hungry on 1, S of Johan on level 4, on 7 Calamity, and then the Illusionist with, of course, again, Disintegrate taken as the heroic ability. The 13 talent now for Mirrodin, still going into the extra damage on his Thunderclap against single targets. We're having Arthas with Relentless, so going for most of the talents that really allow him to just like stay alive. And that's once again like the whole idea here. Having this beefy frontline that allows you to keep Lunara and Li-Ming safe. Both of the heroes rather on the squishy side, not really a big hit point pool. So as long as you keep them safe, you can allow them to dish their damage out, and that's what they're attempting for. Here comes the Haymaker maybe again. Nope, they're trying to get away. And here comes Crosby with the Disintegrate. He's being locked down now, and Li-Ming is down. Gets the kill against Jaina in first, but Alex is also in trouble. Nice heal against BKB. Got Haymaker away, but Alex is still low, getting away somehow thanks to the Army of the Dead sacrificing ghoul after ghoul. It is an even exchange at the end of the day, and great move here actually. Haymakering Johanna away so that she can't use her Condemn anymore to suck them back in. The level 13 talents are now also ready for the Sandwich Monkeys, and they get their first turn in. They're still 2 levels behind. We are currently looking at Johanna with the extra AoE damage, going for the Burning Rage. Spell Shield for especially now Thrall. Wants to make sure that Li-Ming is of course not going to take him down here. And we have the Tidal Waves again for the reduction in cooldown, so can spam that out a little bit more. Tyrande with the adjustment. Shrink Ray now taken for her. She wants to make sure that she can lock these targets down Interesting build here, especially of course with that Starfall at this point. But yeah, turns out that in terms of damage we have still 17,000 for Li-Ming. Nobody except for Thrall is even close, but Thrall is taking definitely the highest number here. 22,000 on him. That last fight has boosted his pressure play a lot. That was a great sundering that they used there, and he got a lot of damage in. Once again, just poking a little bit from a distance. It's the first Web Weaver wave that we see for the Sandwich Monkeys, and they are of course eager to get something out of it. 104,000 siege damage already on Li-Ming, 84,000 on Johanna at this point. And now the mid wave has been defeated, but at the top you're seeing the first few towers fall. And that allows slowly and steadily the Sandwich Monkeys to get a little bit closer and experience and claw their way back into this game with the XP. Here comes that lockdown against Bambi. Oh, Danatan saved actually. Wow, that wasn't well executed here by the Sandwich Monkeys. A bit of a mistake. It was a great stun that we saw from Tyrande coming down, but apparently a bit of a miscommunication. The sundering that came in pushed her out of the stun, out of the Ring for Frost, and Lunara survives. That was more or less a sure kill there, but a communication mistake on the Sandwich Monkeys allows her to live for now, but they can still turn in their gems. At least they try to. Here comes Eternal, but he can't do anything about it. 2 waves in a row, but at the same time the boss at the top lane is being attacked. NaVi was trying to go for the exchange, and they get it. They get the boss, they get the Web Weaver wave against them, but they are able to secure boss. Now with the level 16 talents, we are also now having the Diamond Skin taken. Diamond Skin claimed for Li-Ming. Crosby is in the middle of the fight here once again. Starwood Spear for Janna. It disintegrate, but nice ancestral healing, keeping BKB alive. Crosby with all that damage right now. Once again, Eternal moving in. Haymakering BKB. Nice attempt to lock them down, but this is going to be the death of BKB one way or another. Lunara already dished out all of that poison damage, and that is just way too much for them to handle. We're seeing Stone Skin. We have Stone Form taken. This time not the increased jump range on Muradin that Eternal used in the past when he went for Haymaker. He knows that he's under a lot of pressure here, especially of course against Tyrande with that vulnerable. Here going for the Ranger's mark, or going for the Hunter's mark here at least. So they need to make sure that Muradin survives as well, and that Stone Form can save him in these fights. The waves have to be defended against, up to the top lane of course, that keep already suffering a little bit of damage, but they were able to take down the Web Weavers pretty easily. And yeah, so far things are looking pretty solid here for NaVi with that lead in 2 levels, and more importantly that level 16 that they have right now. Damage output that we are talking. 22,000 damage now on the side of Li-Ming, 21,000 for Lunara. So Danatan really getting that Lunara damage in right now. Doing a solid job, but Thrall still surpassing both of them with 25,000 that he brings to the table at this point. When we're talking heals, we're still seeing of course also like Rhaegar with 23,000, 15,000 on Tyrande. Tyrande can really help with the additional heal. I mean, so far the value that they got out of this particular talent on with Starfall, not really all too much. With Rhaegar you have a lot of healing power in the game of course as well, but having that additional Shadow Stalk, I'm not quite sure. I really think that it would be a great idea to go for Shadow Stalk there. I guess you can rely on Rhaegar alone, but he is really starting to struggle a little bit against all this damage. You need to think about that poison damage, that orb damage, especially this integrate on then Li-Ming. Having then also the Shadow Stalk would really be a nice addition so that we can use that. But at this point, they are just trying to defend this with the Shadow Star, with the Starfall. It helps them a little bit, I suppose, but I'm not quite sure if Shadow Stalk wouldn't still have been the better option here. For now, though, we're going straight again for the defense against the Web Weavers. It's 16 versus 16 talents. The bot lane is now also being pushed in right now. We have NaVi rotating around. That stat advantage that they have thanks to the 2 levels is helping them a little bit. They're having now Rising Storm taken. There's a Tempest Fury and also Ranger. Great damage potential now also for Tyrande. The build that she has there is incredibly strong, of course. It's the build that we've seen over the last few weeks and months shape up. And we are once again also seeing the entire wave down here destroyed. Oh, Danatan in trouble, but Red X is being eliminated. The heal saves him just before he dies to the poison. Sport Billy, on the other hand, is locked down, and they can't escape here. Here comes the Disintegrate again, and zip! Down goes a Thrall. Well played, and NaVi just unleashing the entire power of Lunara and Li-Ming. 36,000 and 31,000 damage right now. Li-Ming by now taking the top damage in the game. Very well done here. And of course, this is NaVi going through the first keep, eliminating the one at the top as well. They have 2 eliminated, and they take the one in the mid lane now too. All 3 keeps are toast, and that Haymaker took 80 already down on his Tyrande. No chance for escape. They have the level 20 talent now, and with that they can just simply move back. They have also another turn available, and that's exactly what they're going for now. Playing it safe and sound. Tal Russia's elements have been taken. And yeah, once again, Calamity on level 7, Illusionist on level 13, and Diamond Skin on level 16. The talent build here for Li-Ming for the first time played in the European scene. And we are having now for Lunara Abolish Magic taken as the level 20 talent. So they're going back, they're just like healing up real quick and moving in once again. We have 11 kills against 4. Talking about numbers as well, I mean, Tirana currently at 27,000 hero damage, and Starfall definitely, of course, dishing out a bit of that. Her healing power with 21,000 is still pretty strong, could have been, of course, like a bit stronger here. We have also, when it comes to like siege damage, 150,000 right now for Li-Ming. Web Weavers at the top lane, Web Weavers at the bot, in the mid, and they are going for the kill. Once again, Alex moving in, Starfall is there, slowing their advance down a little bit. Now the lockdown against Tassadar, that nearly worked out for them. Starfall over on the other hand now, and in this case now they're just aiming straight for the core. They're starting to move in. BKB is already up at the front, but he needs to be super careful, needs to save, especially that Iron Skin in case he gets locked down. They're going for ADRD instead. Jaina is already dead. Here comes the Haymaker against Thrall, and Disintegrate is just blasting everyone away. Johanna is dead. There's the GG, and with a cooldown reset, Li-Ming is just going for it once again. Great damage here, 50,000 on her. GG, and game number 1 ends up in the hands of NaVi in the semi-final at the end of the Storm Finals against the Sandwich Monkeys. Dragonshire is map number 2, NaVi playing against the Sandwich Monkeys now, and in this case we're currently seeing, well, Sandwich Monkeys down 1 game in the best of 3 series, so it could theoretically be the last map of the day. Thrall being banned by the Sandwich Monkeys, and I suppose that NaVi is not going to, yeah, they are not going to screw around here. Li-Ming is immediately banned out after they were able to play the hero in the last game. They don't want to give the Sandwich Monkeys the same opportunity. And on Dragonshire, it would be a shame to not see either Zagara or Rhaegar taken first. The Sandwich Monkeys in this case actually like valuing Zagara over Rhaegar because of the map. Dragonshire incredibly powerful for Zagara, and Rhaegar is going to be one of the heroes that we see for NaVi now. I mean, you will see that lockdown. So that's definitely going to happen. By the way, also, in this case, we could see as the second... Oh, Tassadar. Are they going to play a Tassadar Rhaegar and go theoretically into that Illidan that we've already seen from NaVi? That would be kind of cool. NaVi played this a little bit. They even played Artanis with a Tassadar plus Rhaegar. So they like really that shield style. If you have the lightning shield in, if you also like then have the additional shields of Tassadar, and it looks like they're actually locking down both of them. And that could result in the Sandwich Monkeys banning out Illidan, because NaVi has played this particular healer combo quite a bit, and usually what they want to do with it is try to play a melee assassin. If they don't get their hands on a melee assassin, then they usually, they sometimes even jump into an Artanis, which is absolutely awesome. We've seen that, I think I've seen that in competitive played by them twice so far in the earlier rounds of the Spring Championship tournament. Sandwich Monkeys, they pick Sonya. I really think that they're going to ban out Illidan with this particular setup that NaVi has already started up with. But yeah, Sonya, of course, that pick also picks another possibility for NaVi away. And the Sandwich Monkeys could still head into a Falstad here, for example. It's a very strong hero on this map as well. There's a lot that they can take right now. They can go either into like a stun hero. They could, for example, drop that Jaina, Falstad, and even ETC are very, very strong heroes in that particular setup. They could even go Diablo if they want to once again set up a wombo combo potential with the Apocalypse. So 4 heroes that they can choose from, which would all be very, very powerful for them right now. Depends a little bit on what kind of playstyle they want to use here, but all 4 of those would work very nicely with what they already have. Having that Jaina, for example, after Sonya, Zagara already move in, you can dish out a lot of damage. You can start to set something up with Zagara here if you go for it. Can use the Diablo here, but especially in terms of tanks, there's a lot of things that you can combo. So yeah, they will have to make that choice. I mean, ideally they would probably want like half of the heroes that I just mentioned, but NaVi is definitely going to take a couple of those away and also like ban a few out. But the Sandwich Monkeys actually taking a long, long time here for their decision. They're already running down their time pool, and yeah, they go for the Falstad over Jaina. Range damage is definitely something that they should probably go for. Setups with wombo combos are nice, but you need that damage to follow it up, and they decide to go for a Falstad here. NaVi, it's a little bit the question if they want to go for a Jaina themselves, or if they are going to ban her out. Because they have two choices right now. Either if they have to first of all answer the question which kind of heroes they want to pick first, but they already know what Sandwich Monkeys are trying to build up here. So they can ban out something like Jaina or pick Jaina themselves, or they can deny one of the frontliners to the Sandwich Monkeys as the potential follow-up to a more. For example, like Diablo that we talked about already, or simply that ETC that is always a threat. But they go for the support role instead, apparently. I mean, 2 supports are taken. That would be the third. Sandwich Monkeys had still access to a couple of heroes, but Karazim, Rhaegar, and Tacita, and there's the Illidan ban as suspected. For Na'Vi, I would still think that they could go into that Artanis that I've said before, as I wouldn't mention it if I hadn't seen it played by them in the past. Another, of course, melee assassin that we still have around would be Kerrigan, that you could theoretically also play with this. That being said, a Jaina as the range damage would probably be a very good choice for them too, and keep in mind that they don't have a frontliner yet either, so they could also use one of those. But at this point, I kind of expect a Jaina really to be played here. Depends a little bit on what kind of like frontline hero they are trying to play. If they go, for example, for a Muradin, they can start with a stun and then you drop the Blizzard on top of the target. That would be pretty cool for them. If not, then it might be a better choice to go into something like Greymane, which they've already like tried to play a couple of times here today. Greymane is incredibly powerful. That Lunara that we've seen from them is also, of course, like another matter of preference too. And they go into the Lunara now. So now still the choice. Are they going to go maybe into a double front line? Yes or no? When they, like, the times they played Artanis, they actually played Artanis together with a second frontliner. So I would expect that as the last pick then to happen, if they want to make it work. Usually it's with an Illidan when they play Rhaegar and Tacita, as I said, but they have used that also with Artanis, and they said they really like the combo. But I don't know what happened since then in drafts, if they're still a fan of it, or if they're saying, yeah, by now we are actually like preferring to go a different way here. Lunara has dished out incredible damage for them already throughout the entire series here. Johanna, first of all, as their frontliner, so no ETC in this particular setup just yet. What we have with Johanna now also, of course, one of the heroes that especially Alex loves to play. And we have seen them also with an Arthur, so they could still play something like that, even though I really feel we are going to see something a bit more aggressive as the last pick here. I mean, really thinking, like in my head, if you could play a Butcher with this too. I mean, theoretically, that would be great. And so far, I feel, with the setup that we are seeing for the Sandwich Monkeys, that would also work out. There's a Morales, and, well, that's at least a cleanse that you don't have, but you can't cleanse yourself. Morales played, that helps Sonya, that helps Falstad, with, of course, the level 10 ability going into the Stim Drone. For the front line, though, that's now the question. Do you play that? Oh, yeah, well, with the Leoric is not really too bad for like extra pushing power, but like ETC would still give you a follow-up for Zagara with the potential more there. You have the damage from Falstad. You could even like think about playing Sonya with Leap, which we've already seen earlier today when Na'Vi played the hero, and try to go like more into Leap maybe even or something, but they go for Leoric here. So Leoric, Sonya at the front line, and Na'Vi, I really expect something crazy right now. I really expect something like crazy, and that's why I'm probably going to be disappointed, right? I mean, Na'Vi is usually very good with delivering cool hero combinations, and especially their Rhaegar and Tacita is very strong at keeping a frontliner alive that is trying to just go balls deep and really like goes for the bruiser style. And the more I think about it, the more I want to see Butcher. I don't think that's going to happen, but like I really want to see it. I really want to see something. Oh, come on. Nah, come on, Na'Vi. That's too safe. Ah, God, I hate them. Alex. Ah, damn it. They go for the safe version. I've seen them a couple of times with Artanis. I would have loved Artanis. I would have loved them to go completely crazy with that. They said, I talked to like the boys quite a bit, and they said that Rhaegar Tacita is amazing to keep anything like absolutely insane at the front line alive. But they're playing it safe here with an Arthur. So I'm a little bit disappointed right now. I was already looking forward to see something completely insane out of their part. But we have cool heroes here. We have Luanara again. We have Morales in play. So it's a pretty sweet setup here. Leoric and Sonya at the front line. Curious to see if they can actually like use both of those to really just like force the opponent back and keep the backline safe, especially Morales. Sandwich Monkeys, they have to make a play right now, because if they lose here, then they drop to the loser bracket, and we are going to see Na'Vi advance to the winner bracket final. So guys, I guess we're going to jump in. Map number 2, Dragonshire. Starting up right now. Game number 2 could also be the last game of the series, of course. NaVi is in the lead against the Sandwich Monkeys at the semi-final of the winner bracket here at the end of the Storm Europe Finals. To the left side, NaVi with Alex the Pro G on Arthurs. We have Danatan on Tacita. We see Eternal on Johanna, Gran Paquete on Rega, and Crosby on Lunara. To the right side of the map currently, the Sandwich Monkeys with ADRD on Zagara. We have Zarmany on Sonia. We have BKB on Leoric, Wolves on Falstad, and Sport Billy on Morales. Right, so this is actually going to be a pretty fun match here because, well, once again, we are having good old Lunara in play here, and also we're seeing Morales in action, which is always kind of fun. Not going for Trauma Trigger, by the way. Instead, it's the Prolonged Safeguard that we're seeing here, increasing the duration. Interesting choice. Trauma Trigger, oftentimes the standard choice for the hero. Lightning Bond has been taken right now, so that's going to be a lot of siege damage that you can get out with Rega here. And again, of course, the Cruel Spores for Lunara. Same style that we've seen in the last few games also from Danatan and Crosby, depending on what they played. This time the Regeneration Master for Arthurs. We're seeing Falstad, of course, with his Seasoned Marksman. And we have, again, the Shot of Fury taken on the side of Sonia. So far, so good. And Eternal and his boys are currently just like trying, of course, to solidify that lead that they have in the series with the 2-0 and advance to the winner bracket final. They are playing solid these days. Very strong plays from NaVi overall. One of the best teams that we have in the European scene for sure. Zarmany at the top lane is experiencing that firsthand right now, but Alex is all of a sudden the target since Wolves flies in on his Falstad, takes him down, and Danatan also about to drop. Nice grenade by Sport Billy. Incredibly well played here. They get a double kill, and the Sandwich Monkeys just saying, hi, we are not going to give this game up lightly. So great play here on their part. Really well done. And yeah, so far, looking very solid. So solid play from the Sandwich Monkeys, but let's see if they can actually keep that up. That early double kill, of course, allows them to get the Shrine up at the top lane, and also slightly an experience, which should translate into an earlier level 4 talent. To the bottom lane, we have ADRD now trying to secure the lane with Creep Tumors. Usually Zagara actually at the top, but this time a bit of a shift around. Dragon Knight stolen away already. Wow. Even without the level 4 talent advantage, Dragon Knight is taken 1 minute and 50 seconds into the game. Keep in mind that Arthurs is actually also a very solid choice against Zagara. They already have Tacita here, of course, but Arthurs is another hero that with a Frozen Tempest can take down these Creep Tumors quite easily. So at this point, NaVi has actually 2 heroes that are very good against Zagara. Not only the Oracle ability that we see for Tacita, but also Arthurs himself. And I mean, there's of course a whole bunch of abilities that they can use to take the Creep Tumors on the rest of the heroes as well. Level 4 by now, and instead of the advanced block, we have the upgraded ballistics taken for Sport Billy on his Morales. We're seeing also again destruction taken. The bot lane a bit of a fight there, like Leeching Plasma on level 4, Laws of Hope now also claimed, and we have Stormcaller together with the Nimble Wisp. Falstad again making his rounds up to the top, trying to help out here, but this time Sonia is dead. The problem is that Sportbeal and the rest of the team is also there, and Alex and Gran Paquete might not survive this one. Gran Paquete just about to try and help his buddy out, but in this case Alex was taken down again. So it's a trade. Kill for kill. We're still seeing Hardened Bones taking for Leoric, and we're currently having also looking at Falstad. 9 Seasoned Marksman stacks already. I mean, for Falstad getting these early game kills is of course great, because at this point he's already in a situation where every single kill against target gives him a couple of stacks for Seasoned Marksman, so he can really start to get that extra damage in, and that helps him of course throughout the game to just like keep that damage up, and every time that Wolves flies in, he can really make some plays there. So already Danatan and Eternal, both of them starting to move through the middle here. Eternal getting a little bit low here, chased by a Hydra. And we're having Falstad about to fly down, but in this case actually like cancelling the attempt. Level 7 talents now with a Ferocious Healing. Cam's about to be taken. ADRD is kind of out the low there though. And Sport Billy attempting to heal him up. And of course, if you can't interrupt that heal beam on Sport Billy, then Morales is going to get out a massive amount of extra heals. Like, the healing power of Morales is absolutely unrivaled if you leave her alone. If you don't jump the backline, if you're not putting pressure on her, then she can get so much heal out there. Doesn't really have the burst heal, of course, oftentimes, but still, if you don't drop that target right away, then you are going to be in trouble against Morales. Paralyzing Rage has now been taken as a level 7 talent. We're also seeing now Clear, so an increased explosion radius for the grenades. and rapid incubation. So even though we have a Morales in play, a lot of sustained talents here, with especially ADRD, who always goes for the rapid incubation. So no adjustment here on his part, but actually just a standard talent for his hero. The top lane play between Alex and Zarmany still ongoing, and we have Blood and Thunder taken for Rhaegar, who goes for the cooldown reduction here now as well on the level 7 talent. Not really in need of anything like a cleanse. BKB goes for the Dragonite, but the Shrine of the bot lane has already been conquered. Eternal and Crossbear there. And of course Lunara is just once again dishing out the damage here. Went for the Wild Vigor once again, Nimble Wisp and Cool Spore. Same build that we've seen over the last few days over from NaVi. Well played so far, decent damage output as well. The top lane, of course, Alex still fighting up against Zarmany, but we have a level lead for the Sandwich Monkey. So the setup that they are running here is really working out for them. Especially the mobility that we have with Falstad is super cool. Once again, flying in, starting to do some damage, but immediately locked down, and this might be a problem. Barrel roll away, but now we have also the heals on Alex. He's trying to get away, but no chance of escape. Alex is getting plummeted into the ground every single time up here to the top. Tassadar now also dead, and that's 5 kills against 1 for the Sandwich Monkeys. They're really turning this around. Sandwich Monkeys with that draft are very happy, and NaVi with that last pick on Arthur so far not making any waves. There's the level 10, therefore we have Entomb, and Grand Paquete is experiencing that firsthand. It gets trapped and taken down. Of course, the Stim Drone on Morales is now also a really big deal, because it can help out Falstad to dish out incredible amounts of damage. It can also help out a hero like Sonya, but Falstad is going to be the preferred target for the ability. Dragonite number 2 in the mid lane right now, and with that level 10 heroic, they are just like pressuring through the bot lane at the same time. Already 19 season marksman stacks on the side of Falstad. 19. It's absolutely insane. Like, with him being included in every single kill that we've seen so far on the side of the Sandwich Monkeys, he has absolutely incredible damage output that he currently brings to the table. 20 already, 6 minutes and 40 seconds in, 20 additional damage on Falstad. Like, that does not bode well for NaVi, of course. But they have the level 10s right now, and Thornwood Vines have been taken. They're trying to make good use of that. Of course, once again, Army of the Dead. Here comes Alex with a lockdown against Morales. They're trying to go for her. Also, Wolves really low. More not hitting anybody here. Here comes the Force Wall on Tassadar. NaVi should have the sustain here in the fight, but Danatan is low. Ancestral Healing keeping Alex alive. Once again, he's the punching bag, so far at least, eating a lot of damage. And oh, that Entomb didn't hit anything. BKB with a miss there. Was trying to trap one of them, but did not really make that work. 21 extra damage on Falstad right now. Talking damage, let's have a closer look at it. We are currently 7 minutes in, level 10 versus level 11. Already 14,000 hero damage on Arthur's, showing pretty much what I've been talking about earlier, that he can actually dish out a lot of damage with his level 4 talent, with the Destruction, with his trade, and also, of course, with a Frozen Tempest. 14,000 for him, 12,000 for Lunara. She's going to increase that later on, but just take a closer look at the rest of the red team. We're having them with 18,000 on Zagara, another 18,000 on Sonya, jumping in again. Falstad already at 16,000. That's of course going to increase after level 13. Oh, nice force ball though, but the Mighty Gust is saving Zarmany. Falstad really, like, Wolves with very, very nice plays here on Falstad. I'm really liking the way that he's currently like rocking this for his team, doing a solid job there. That being said, Alex is currently like starting to take a few of those camps, or at least tries to. Grand Paquete can always help out. If they go with a double lightning shield in there, thanks to the lightning bond as the level 1 talent, you just like blast those down, and then of course you have also that Frozen Tempest, which helps you as well. But with 6 kills against 1, we have the Sandwich Monkeys far, far ahead in this game, and they will hit a very early level 13, and that could once again translate into another Dragonite, especially since the next Dragonite is going to be ready in 25 seconds. So this is going to be a super cool position for them. They have also camps at the top. Once again, the bot lane being attacked. Eternal is there. Zarmany with the Wrath of the Berserker. Grenade has been used. The dodge against the... Nice. The dodge against the Entomb of Leoric. Crosby is poking from a distance, and Eternal had to use the Blessed Shield to be on the safe side. But now we have the level 13 talent, and there we have the Couples Therapy. We have also the Giant Killer taken, Mystical Spear, Mutalisk, and the Crushing Hope. And still an entire level lead here for the team in red. So the Blues, NaVi, they have to either try and play around it or try and isolate someone and take them down on the map. And that could be ADRD. That could actually be ADRD. Eternal is already moving in. Crosby is there, goes for the slow, and Leoric is trying to help out, but he should not be able to save ADRD. Everybody's moving down, and the problem is that Leoric could actually fall now as well. There's the kill against Sagara. They're going for Leoric now too. They're trying to slow him. Grand Paquette and the lockdown. Nice force wall as well. The Entomb blocking everyone out. Good move on Leoric's part. Very short cooldown on Entomb as is, so he just like used the Entomb, blocked them out a little bit and made sure that nobody could move in. But with that kill against Sagara, they're now able to buy themselves a little bit more time, and that is all that they really need to do. They can get the level 13 talent, and that for now denies the Dragonite to the Sandwich Monkeys. Solid play here. Again, we're having now the unfair advantage, and that of course is going to be like really great. The damage output on Lunara is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's something that they really need. They need more damage here. And they lock down Leoric again, and wow, they just blast him away. NaVi now switched into the 5-man mode on this map. We have them with a biting cold also. Arthur's realizing that they just need more damage on the map, and therefore Alex starting to adjust his build, not going into Relentless here. They need to be careful with a Dragonite, of course. It can be taken again, and that's why Tassadar is currently like standing guard, but everybody else is moving down to the bot lane trying to go for the shrine, and they're gonna get it. Already more damage on Eternal. They're going, oh Alex, the heal is there. Army of the Dead now as well. Here comes the Entomb, but they go for Leoric again, and Leoric is down. Zarmany is now also in a bit of trouble. He has the Stim Drone, not Wolves. A false set, by the way, on 29 extra damage now. BKB is dead. It's a 5 versus 4. Maybe they can push it in. NaVi is trying. The Sandwich Monkeys, of course, they need to be careful here. Of course, Leoric is going to be back very soon. They're trying to get control over that bot shrine, and if they get that, they can go for the 3rd Dragonite in the game. They're still a little bit ahead of experience, but not by much. These kills are really starting to hurt. Alex is attempting to move in again, but there's Leoric. He wants to go in and slows them down. The paralyzing rage is coming into play here. In the backline though, ADR, the underdamaged Sport Billy, is healing whatever he can. His positioning is great so far. He's never exposing himself at any moment. Again in the mid lane, they need to make sure that they somehow stop them. There's of course always Grand Paquette. He can go for another lightning shield up to the top. We're having Johanna in position. Zarmany, yes, but Grand Paquette might fall and he goes down. Rhaegar is dead. A lot of damage against Falset, but a great more here, and this could be the double kill. They're trying for it. Alex is dead. Jonathan also just like splattered into the ground and eliminated. It's a triple kill, and that delivers level 16 talents. Level 60 with the Nerves of Steel, with the Brood expansion, the Hammer time, and now with a full focus on the grenades, we're seeing the system shock for Sport Billy. And that is, of course, for them right now also another Dragonite. They don't even wait for the Dragonite to drop the fort in the mid lane. And why exactly would they? They take that down. Dragonite is now about to be taken. They can even decide who goes into the Dragonite. Usually you oftentimes have to like take whoever, but in this case they send Sonya in. They have still their frontliner and they have the range damage, so it's all good for now. Heal, by the way, 37,000 on Morales currently, 17,000 siege damage for her, and we have still very cool heals, of course, also for Rhaegar, since a lot of those ancestral healings have been hit during the game. 34,000 therefore for him. But now at the bot lane, again, we have Wolves with 34 extra damage. And you can really tell that in terms of like single target damage, he's doing really well. I mean, we still have a couple of heroes that are, of course, like ahead of him. But when it comes to that single target damage, 27,000 is definitely very, very solid. And he can increase that over the duration of the game. Again, the attempt to go for Sport Billy though. And all of a sudden, there's no healer anymore for the team. So even though they have the Dragonite, NaVi is making their plays. Danatan is locked down here. Eternal gets healed. BKB finds himself in trouble thanks to his own Entomb here. And now with the good Condemn and the Force Wall, Leoric is going to fall too. Here comes the Mighty Gus pushing them back. They go for Zarmany on the Dragonite, and now they can try and drop Sonya too. Sonya is being attacked. That Mystical Spear did not hit, and goodbye Zarmany. Trying to escape, but it's already too late. The kill against especially Morales here early on was of course what they need. Oh my god, no. Gets the ferocious healing in the last moment in. The poison would have killed them. Whirlwinds away, and Zarmany actually lives. Great play here by him. Really well done. He was in 5 heroes the entire time. 6 kills against 9. BKB is back. Eternal has to actually shield Alex. Alex on the move back now too. What a game here already. I mean, still the Sandwich Monkeys with incredible plays and also a much better position when it comes to structures. But overall, Na'Vi not giving up, like not for one moment. In damage, Lunara is currently at 47,000. We're having, of course, especially now Sonya at 42k. But again, the attempt of steal, but this time it doesn't work out for them. So 49,000 for Lunara, 27,000 for Arthas, by the way. That biting cold is really coming into play for Alex. But of course, it also means that they have to focus a lot of their healing power on Arthas here. Sonya, Johanna usually not really a high priority target for the Sandwich Monkeys. And still Na'Vi is behind. I mean, Na'Vi is still behind. Lunara, by the way, didn't die once. She did not die once in this entire game yet. Grand Paquette, they are also moving away now, trying to just like de-push the lanes first. Falset already up to the top, and things are not getting better for them by any means. Falset is by now at 40 extra damage. 40 extra damage on Falset. I mean, he is doing an amazing job. Wolves is playing just a great game here, trying to get that extra damage in. Sport Billy with that one death against him. That, of course, cost them a very solid position, and the Dragon Knight that they stole did not really do a whole lot because of it. They just simply couldn't move in anymore. They were up against 5 heroes with only 4. The Dragon Knight had no real potential to do anything here. Once again, Grand Paquette is a little bit isolated, but they're going for Zarmany. Grand Paquette has to go for the heal. Ancestral hits, and Tomb, on the other hand, is also going for it. Alex is once again down, but they kill at least Morales. Can they maybe turn it around now? Crosby, look at that poison damage. Goes for ADRD, cannot secure the kill, gets taken out himself as Danatan cannot heal him, nor can Grand Paquette. Both of the supports are just zoned out, and now Eternal finds himself in the same situation. He's trying to escape. Grand Paquette with the attempt to move in. Zarmany is gonna go in for the last shot and the kill, but the heal is there. Good job by Grand Paquette, and Zarmany might actually fall. He's very low, but can escape. In comes also Danatan, but he does not get that kill in. 19 versus 18. That game again. Fly in up to the top. Wolves is going to get another shine, and guess what? That means Dragon Knight. Once again, that DK is going to be there. Dragon Knight after Dragon Knight claimed by the Sandwich Monkeys. They want this game. They really do. Level 20 talents now with the Caduceus Reactor. Of course, we're going to see also now Sonya for Ignore Pain, her version of the Hardened Shield. Epic Mount taken for Falstad. He's already mobile as is, but he wants more. Hardened Shield most likely. For Leoric could see the Spectral Leech, I suppose. Same time now, we have also none taken on Zagara yet. Normally we would see the Bolt of the Storm for the survivability. And by now we have top lane pressure. Eternal trying to get some experience for his team to bring them a little bit closer to level 20 as well. But down here, they have to defend against the Dragon Knight. And that poison damage against BKB is already a nuisance. But Sport Billy is there for the heals and brings them in. Again, thrown back here. Here comes the Dragon Knight going for the keep right now, and they will get this. They should get this. They have to get this. This is the advantage that they have, and they have to make something out of it. And they're looking actually really, really strong. Once again, the keep is down. How much more can they actually get here? Zarmany is taking damage. Bolt of the Storm has been chosen. Still Leoric not going for his level 20. Now Tassadar moving out of there right away. Needs to be careful. 20 also very, very soon now for Na'Vi. And Na'Vi is of course waiting for that. They are trying to survive long enough so that they get their own level 20s. That's what they really need here. Once again, BKB is already there. Zarmany with the first tower drops the second. They're level 21 now, but it doesn't really matter. After level 20, it's only slight stat advantages that you get. It's really all about that level 20 talent. That's the most important part. Still no talent here for Leoric. Has still not chosen. But we have not enough experience for Na'Vi to choose their own talents. But finally, 1 or 2 more minions is all that they need. If they take the camp, for example, that should be enough. There's the 20 now for them. And there's the indestructible double, oh my god, double Storm Shield now taken. No rewind. It's a double Storm Shield for these fights that they're taking right now. And we have them also with the speed bonus on the side of Lunara, going straight into the Galloping Gate. Yeah, well, for Arthas right now on 20, it's actually like, it's the Hardened Shield. It's the Hardened Shield that he goes for. And Hardened Shield also for Leoric. It doesn't really come as a surprise, but he waited very long. Could have gone into Spectral Leech, I suppose. At this point, he goes for the Hardened Shield instead. Numbers, once again, heal 60,000 for Rhaegar, 52,000 for Morales. Falstad still hasn't died in the game, and oh, Eternal locked down, and here comes the Invulnerable. They are trying to save him somehow. Rhaegar, is he gonna... The heals are there. A lot of heroics are actually out. And here comes the attack against Falset. Wolves is nearly dead, but Crosby can't deliver the final blow. Johanna is down. Ancestral Healing was not used. It looked from Grand Paquette's point of view like they could just save her, but then the fly in, it just completely ruins the entire idea here, and that was really well played by Wolves. He's at 48 additional damage, by the way. 48 additional damage 20 minutes into the game. So per minute, 2.5 extra damage that he was able to accumulate. Very, very well done in this game. And 20 minutes into the game, we have also another Dragonite. And of course, they need to buy time. It's another 30 seconds until Johanna is back. And they just wait up here to the top. They wait if someone is going to move in and tries to take that. And that's exactly what happens. BKB is there. They go immediately for a snipe against him, but they only push him back. BKB survives, but of course he's extremely low. He needs to wait a little bit longer, and that is going to buy them the time that they need to get Johanna back in business and then play that 5 versus 5 once again. The bot lane, on the other hand, is now being pressured, and pressured pretty heavily at that. So Johanna has a job once she's back. There's 2 catapults starting to move in, and with those we also have an entire camp. Up at the top, on the other hand, they need her as well. So this is the team fight that they want to go for first. Nice Mighty Gust pushing them away. Rhaegar is down. Ancestral Healing not coming through. The core is being attacked, by the way. And at the same time now in that 5 versus 4 situation up at the top lane, we're once again seeing the Sandwich Monkeys victorious. Down here, the catapults are starting to drop the shield. Shield is very low, but so far it's still holding. Eternal is suddenly surrounded. Here comes the Blessed Shield. Goes for Falset. Tries to suck him in. They get some damage in, but Wolves is still alive. Eternal is able to take him down though. Nice. Of course, the Burning Rage helping out a lot here. So it is a 4 versus 4. Once again, one of the healers is down. Another one is still alive. Here comes the Force Wall. More used against Arthur. Stanatan starting to move in, trying to get away here. BKB is still around. They need to save that Dragonite somehow. They try to go for BKB. Here comes Crosby trying to deliver the final blow. Can't though. And up here at the top, another Force Wall already isolating Sonya and also Zagara. Zagara in this case with a Stim Drum. That's definitely a misclick. Lunara is dead though, and that's a problem. That's a huge problem. Alex is about to fall, and so is Tacita. Everybody's low. Alex is down, and this should be game. Here comes Sport Billy again with the heals, and nice Entomb. Entomb from the other side of the wall against Eternal, and once Indestructible is over, he's gonna fall. This, ladies and gentlemen, has to be game. They can go through the bot lane right now and finish this. A great Entomb from the other side of the wall, and what a fight to finish this off. 16 versus 8 kills currently so far in this game. Absolutely incredible plays here that we saw in those last fights. Grand Paquette and Donatan, the 2 supports, are still alive. They're trying to do what they can, but at this point the core is going to fall, and of course NaVi is very well aware of that. The GG's already called. We are going to see a 3rd game in this semi-final at the winner bracket here at the end of the storm. Great play from both of these teams. The Sandwich Monkeys victorious against NaVi here on Dragonshire. Well played, and congratulations. NaVi versus the Sandwich Monkeys. We have Infernal Shrines as our 3rd map. The score is 1-1. We are in the semi-final, semi-final of the winner bracket here. And NaVi with a ban on Tacita here, super early in the draft. Interesting choice, of course, for the Sandwich Monkeys. It's once again the big question: do you ban Li-Ming or do you not ban her? And they didn't on the first map, and they lost the game. NaVi, they didn't think twice about it on map number 2 and banned her right away when it was their time to make that decision. But the Sandwich Monkeys again running down the clock right now. So they currently seem to think once again about letting Li-Ming through the draft and decide against it. So Li-Ming is locked down, and she's not going to be part of this 3rd map between the 2 teams. Infernal Shrines, NaVi probably going to be going for Rhaegar right now. Another option would be Zagara, that we have actually seen favored by the Sandwich Monkeys in the game before on Dragonshire, of course. But Rhaegar is currently being locked down here, and NaVi, yes, they actually take the hero. So Rhaegar, once again, the heal for them. In the last game, Rhaegar was also played by NaVi, but lost in the setup. The Sandwich Monkeys, they can go again into that Zagara. Right now, these days, like, the setups are very, very different of what you can go for. Falset, for example, is very strong here, and is something that the Sandwich Monkeys have actually preferred a couple of times already, even over a Zagara. But that Zagara play is, of course, still incredibly strong because you get so much vision over everything that is happening on the map itself, and also like siege damage and that pressure play. with rapid incubation that the Sandwich Monkeys prefer when they play AD-RD on the hero. You get also a nice lane sustain. But apparently there is going to be a bit of a change. They could go Jaina here. ETC already chosen. Now they have a couple of options. Foresight is still being around. Zagara is still around. But he could also go into a Jaina here, which is for most of the teams now a little bit more powerful and preferred than even Kel'Thas, which we haven't even seen today. Instead it was more Lunara that we saw in action. Jaina as well. And even sometimes Greymane that was chosen. So this is going to be a pretty cool setup here for the Sandwich Monkeys. Completely different draft from what we've seen so far. Huge priority on ETC right now. And of course, that already comboing it off with a Thrall. Thrall sundering into the potential power slide ETC mosh pit. That's what we could see here right now. And NaVi, let's see how they react to that. They have still the option to go into Zagara. They have the option with Falstead here. And let's not forget about the Lunara that they've basically played in every single game where they get access to the hero today. And even in the last match, we've seen very nice damage out of Lunara. They lost it in the end, but the damage potential that we have on the hero was actually pretty incredible. So now we have an opportunity to showcase that again. And with the way that NaVi has been picking that hero, the chances are actually that she's going to be banned out at some point if the Sandwich Monkeys get that chance. Falstead, as expected, chosen. Great mobility on the map. Mighty Gust, of course, an amazing disengage that they can use now as well. It's one of the things that they could definitely use in this game now too. And how are they going to play it? If they play Lunara, then they are starting to also give away a bit of that AoE damage that, of course, Infernal Shrines is oftentimes all about. You want to make sure that you get all those minions on the shrines themselves, and other heroes like Vala, for example, are in that case just a little bit better. Greymane can dish out incredible AoE damage with his cocktail build. So that's a hero that we could see in this game here once again as well. It could definitely happen. But NaVi, they are waiting for a long time. It's not an easy choice. I mean, it's not only about the damage heroes at this point. You also need to think about if you go, for example, for a frontliner. And NaVi could go into a Sonya. They could use also that Johanna again that they already had in a couple of the earlier games. But they decide to go for that, or they seem to decide for, no, please, yes. God, I would love it. I expected him in the last game for the reasons I mentioned, but nope, not so far. It is Zagara that they go for. I would be a little bit surprised if they go for Atanas now, because so far I've only seen them use Atanas with Rhaegar Tassadar, and they banned Tassadar out. So not sure if they were just teasing there. Zagara, as I said before, makes a lot of sense. Depends really on what exactly you want out of this. The Sandwich Monkeys, yeah, they have to make like a choice. They can either ban a bit of damage out. If they do, then it's most likely going to be a ban of Lunara. They can ban frontline. They know that Alex likes to play their setups with also Diablo. So Zagara more in the Diablo Apocalypse is an option. But they ban a Leoric, and that could once again lead us into a ban on Cho'Gall. They played Cho'Gall before. The Sandwich Monkeys played Cho'Gall on this map. But if they do play Cho'Gall, it would mean that Gall is the only hero that can dish out range damage. They ban a Jaina instead. Are the Sandwich Monkeys? I don't think so. Not with that setup. Not with Thrall etc. I mean, that Leoric ban, so far the Sandwich Monkeys always try to go for Leoric ban when they were really thinking about a Cho'Gall. But maybe they were just trying to bait out the ban and then go for Jaina instead. Or for another hero. And there is Greymane. That makes a lot more sense. I would have been blown away if they would actually have chosen Cho'Gall here. They played him on Infernal Shrines before, but still, in this setup, Greymane, I said it before, the AoE damage that you get out of the cocktail build is great, and if you try to go for the minions on those shrines and get the Punisher, then that is, of course, absolutely amazing. So Leoric has been banned out in this case. Would also have been a great hero for NaVi, even though NaVi right now prefers to go into a Johanna, as we've seen in several games here today before. And NaVi has to make that choice right now. Is it going to be that Johanna at the front line once again? Alex and Eternal, they both can play her. They could even drop that Arthas again. Arthas with all that AoE damage that he has in the Frozen Tempest can do a whole lot of work. It would be a very vanilla setup. If they go now for Johanna and Arthas again at the front line, then it would be a very vanilla setup for them. But with Rhaegar together, with that Lightning Shield, with the Frozen Tempest, I mean, you're more or less guaranteed that if you fight long enough on that temple, that you get a massive amount of minions that you can lock down there. So it's more or less a question of if they really feel like they can really like go for that setup. There's that Johanna, and instead of Arthas, we're seeing a Sonya here. Sonya, we talked about her a little bit earlier. She's a great counterpart to Thrall now, and with Rhaegar going maybe even for Electric Charge, making that adjustment, they can go with Sonya really deep into the backline now. The Sandwich Monkeys, on the other hand, they could add another range damage dealer. They could maybe even add that Vala if they want to have more AoE. That's the question right now. Do you want to have more on-point damage, or do you want that AoE? Do you want more hero kills, or do you want to go into that objective fight? It's the objective. They go Vala. as I said, Vala is a great choice here, and they could go Vala. If they want to go more single target damage, then they can even like choose that Lunara that we've seen a couple of times now with all that lockdown. But Vala would definitely, with those multi-shots, work well on those shrine fights. She's great on this map, and that's one of the reasons why she's oftentimes picked. We've seen her today already, but the Sandwich Monkeys have not locked her down yet. They have to make that choice. That single target damage, trying to like target down one particular hero or get even more AoE in so that they can just like burst waves down and make sure that they get those punishers. And the Sandwich Monkeys, they have great players in Vala and they lock her down. So they go for Vala. Vala is the last hero. Solid setups for both of the teams. NaVi versus the Sandwich Monkeys. Game number 3, the final map in the series, guys. So get ready for this one. This is going to be good. Game number 3, the decisive map here at the winner bracket semi-final between NaVi and the Sandwich Monkeys. To the left side of the map, we currently have Alex the Pro G on Johanna. We are seeing Grand Paquete on Rega, Danatan on Falstad, Eternal on Sonya, and Crosby on Zagara. To the right side of the map, the Sandwich Monkeys, after their victory in the last game, Zarmany on Greymane today. We have AD Arya and Vala, so a lot of AoE here with the cocktail build and the multi-shot build. Sport Billy on Karazim, BKB on ETC, and Wolves is playing Thrall. So very solid setup actually for both of these teams. A very cool draft that we have here. And again, the Storm Shield build for Rega. In this case, it is the Electric Charge. Once again, the adjustment with a hero like Sonya to go into the increase of the radius over the Lightning Bond. So if you actually followed like the 2 series that NaVi already played here at the end of the Storm Finals, you've seen that every single time we see Rega in here, the build was a little bit adjusted. And that's actually the cool thing about the hero right now. In the middle of the map with the multi-shot build, we're seeing once again Vala. It's more or less a 5-man setup that we're currently seeing for the Sandwich Monkeys here. We're having Falstad again going into the Seasoned Marksman stacks. This time, on the other hand, he's played by NaVi and not by the Sandwich Monkeys. But this map is, of course, like super important. If you lose here, you are not out of the tournament yet. There is still a loser bracket that, of course, counts as well. But if you make it here, then you are already in the winner bracket final, which would be absolutely great for whichever team makes it, of course. The Sandwich Monkeys, they did not qualify for Katowice for the Spring Championship Finals, which was definitely a huge blow after they showed incredible play over the last few weeks and months. And now they at least want to make sure that they are winning this tournament. Enter the Storm, of course, with a ton of prize money here. The teams have been fighting for a long time here through the qualifiers and through the group stage. Now they are finally in the round of 8. And so far, these 2 teams are doing really, really well. We're having at the top lane, Zagara, Crosby trying to get the vision in for his team and of course like securing the position for the first shrine, which is going to be announced in 10 seconds. But there comes the attempt to lock Zagara down. 4 heroes already there. Crosby on the run and actually gets away. Very well dodged. Zarmany now with the cocktail build. Perfect aim for him on level 1. We're seeing up at the top the shrine now finally active. And well, with that, we are going to have the first fight for the Punisher. But of course, let's keep in mind that both of the teams are going to try to go for level 4 first, so that they get the extra talent. That's one of the reasons why we have at the bot lane still a bit of fight going on. And Danatan is low. And well, once your hit points drop below 0, you're dead. And that's something that Danatan has currently realized as well. So they lock him down, take him apart. But it also means that at the top lane, we have a bit of a surplus in heroes for NaVi still, and Falstad can of course fly in, so they get the lead in minions, and a quite significant one at that. Falstad is going to fly up to the top any moment. Level 4 is hit for both of the teams by now, and that means Stormcaller again. Laws of Hope, by the way, Regeneration Master taken on Johanna. Big adjustment here. Sonya already taken down, and of course now with 2 kills already for the Sandwich Monkeys, NaVi has to really be careful here. They have 15 of the minions already, but they can't fight for this anymore. And yeah, nice adjustment here with the Regeneration Master. So no Knight takes pawn, less siege damage, less wave clear, but a lot more survivability now for her. And that of course is going to help then in those fights quite a bit. We have down to the bottom of the map, still the pressure play because they realized they couldn't take the Punisher. They instead decided to just pressure the lanes. They take the first of the towers down, and Grand Paquete and Danatan, they have to deal with Zarmany, who can now just use the cocktail to push them back a little bit. But besides that, we are still going to see the play straight for this draft overflow after the perfect aim taken, and Zarmany is actually eating a lot of damage down here. Punisher, on the other hand, is going to be taken very soon. And, well, there we have it. Punisher claimed, and it's going to move straight through the top of the map. And in this case, right now, we are seeing also Sport Billy and BKB accompanying the Punisher. And it's baited to jump in right away. Therefore, you can defend with like 3 towers. It's one of the most important things, actually, if you are playing on the competitive level, that you always try just like bait the Punisher in. It's one of the mistakes a lot of people still make in like Quick Match and also Hero League, that the Punisher is met in front of the gate, makes this little jump, and nothing really happens there. Counter kill as well against Karazim, that makes things of course even better now. Crosby and Eternal and Alex able to defeat the Punisher and then also like kill another target. That's absolutely amazing for them, doesn't get any better than that. We're still seeing in the mid lane, Grand Paquete here. Oh, Greymane actually now also taken out. Apparently falling, yes, down here at the bottom. BKB was trying to get that kill in, but Danatan getting away. So nice solo kill here for Falstad, and that's of course amazing for him now. Level 7 talents by now on both sides, with also level 7 cleanse taken for Rega. So Rega with a cleanse, at the same time now also another elixir talent taken. On level 7 here, the cocktail build just progressed, and that is going to help a ton with that siege damage that we've been talking about already a little bit earlier. We also have now Conviction as the level 7 talent. We're seeing down to the bot lane. Still ETC. And I mean, ETC going again into loudspeakers had been very common if you don't go for groupies, that you go face melt on level 13. You combat that off with the loudspeakers then on level 7. And that's actually pretty nice. You get that slow, you get that increased knockback, and that's very nice control during the dream fights. Especially, of course, if you're trying to peel for someone in the back line, then you can get extreme value out of it. Great utility tank. ETC always has been one of the main tanks for something like this, and this game isn't really going to be any exception to that rule. Ferocious healing and an adjustment also as the level 7 talent. Now we've been talking about ADRD on Zagara a lot. In this case, of course, it is Crosby who plays the hero. ADRD always going into the extra sustain with the level 7 talent, going straight into that, but right now what we are actually seeing is the endless creep. And to the bot lane, Danatan getting some experience. Still NaVi slightly ahead, but right now we also have another Punisher activated, or the Shrine is actually activated, so both of the teams are starting to move in for that. Level 10 abilities are not ready yet, but NaVi is so far actually doing incredibly well with this. So they're taking the first few, not really too many just yet. Crosby is there, Grand Paquete as well. Vala at the bot lane, Falstad too. Falstad can of course always fly in. The earlier level 10 is also going to hit for them, and that is going to be awesome. This is going to be really, really great for NaVi if they hit that level 10 while that fight is still ongoing. They will get the Punisher if they can secure that, but the lead is going to be super small. Yeah, Spot Billy is still trying to get a few of those minions. Crosby even moving away, since up at the top Zarmany starting to threaten the keep and the structures. There's the 10 now for both sides. And again the heroics have been chosen. Here comes Danatan moving in. Blessed Shield is already ready. Where is that Sundering that we could see? ADRD moves in. Sundering already used. Falstad flies back. Mighty Gusts immediately. No setup. Great more on the backline. The mosh pit is awesome, but it's not really doing anything since everybody was trapped. Eternal gets healed by the Ancestral Healing. Jumps in right away. Has to rotate back. Spot Billy is super low. What a fight already. Heroic abilities just fired up everywhere. In the end, nobody dies though, and now we're having the Punisher starting to move straight through the middle of the map. NaVi is securing it here. Very well done actually on their part. So NaVi with a very, very solid position once again, but still, they are not too far ahead just yet. They can take a few of the towers down, and they will definitely do that, but the question of course is, can that Punisher really drop more than that? 2 towers down at the front, and that's about it. But they rotate on the lanes again. Alex is already on the way to the bottom, up to the top. They are currently seeing Sonya, who also like defeated another wave. Did very good there. But we have still in the mid lane now Rega present as well. So no real big advantage currently for either one of these teams. It's 2 kills against 2 kills. No fort has fallen. Camps are being taken on the map. There's nothing really too crazy going on just yet. Good fights on those shrines, but now we are in the mid game with the heroic abilities. We're seeing Zagara starting to move up to the top. Crosby is already there. And, well, in this case right now, the big question is, of course, who is going to take the next Punisher? It's very unlikely that we're going to see too many big team fights before that happens. It's really the objective control that is now important. Can you get another couple of, like, camps on the map, for example? That would be really important. Trying to just, like, make sure that you have a bit of pressure play at this point. And maybe a kill against someone like Wolves up at the top. Very unlikely, though. You could really tell that he didn't even leave his mount. He was just mounted the entire time, only in experience range. He knew, of course, perfectly that there's always the chance that the opponent is going to try and take him down here at some point. But in this case, he was just playing it super safe, and when the rotation actually started to move to the top, he was ready for it, could move away, and that worked out quite nicely for him. Another camp at the bottom of the map is now taken. Both of the teams heading into level 13, trying to play this as safe as they can. I mean, there's a lot of money on the line here, of course. And if you can reach the winner bracket final, you're more or less guaranteed that you're going to end up in a decent spot. Nice stun here against ETC, trying to slide away. BKB might survive thanks to Spot Billy, and wow, that palm, nice, well played here. Actually, like a really smart idea here, using of course also the Mighty Gust, not only to just blow them away from that camp, that would have been a great bonus. It was more about like getting that slow in, that was really the important part here. Once you get that slow, you have a really nice chance of like locking them down. That was also what the Blessed Shield was about, but a good dash on Karazhan made sure that not all of three were really locked down here. NaVi is again on the temple or on the shrine, and level 13 talents are soon going to be ready for both of them. A bit faster for NaVi, and they're already using exactly that advantage. There's no 13 yet for the opponent, and that's a big part. More against 3. A big more by NaVi, and they go in, they try to get the kill. Zagara from the side. Crosby is moving in. 13 versus 13 now. Groupies has been chosen as the 13 talent. The Unfettered Assault once again for Greymane. We've seen the talent before. Hold your ground for Johanna, and they are starting to move in against Eternal, and oh my god, Eternal, nice. The heal was great, but that Mighty Gust was even better. They go for Wolves again. The palm is ready. Great palms here on the side of the Sandwich Monkeys, but at some point there's just nothing you can do about this anymore. Sport Billy today again with great support play, but still he can't keep them alive here. 2 of them dying, and with 2 heroes already down, I mean, this is looking better and better for NaVi. They are starting to take a slight lead in experience. They're definitely going to get this Punisher, and they're also going for another kill. Greymane has been taken out here at the top. They actually were able to chase him down while Zagara was still on the temple. Now they have 36 of those. They could even like try to take someone else down, or maybe even like go straight for one of those camps first. They wait a bit longer. They know that they have only 4 minions that they need to claim, so they can wait for Zagara to come back. She needed to go back to heal. Alex actually should maybe even mana up as well, and Eternal is also like not looking too good, but they go for that try now and will secure that for now and get that Frozen Punisher. So the Frozen Punisher is going to move in. We have by now also, of course, the Frostbolt after the multi-shot build was already started a bit earlier. We're seeing at the bot lane now that pressure play. And just look at the experience right now. 5 kills against 2, another Punisher, and even without the Punisher really doing anything just yet, they already have a level lead. Super important here for them to secure that. In terms of hero damage, we're seeing especially Zagara looking very solid. Vala, of course, as well with the 26,000. A little bit disappointing the damage that we currently have on Thrall. Only 11k, but overall, of course, NaVi is just like moving from one lane to another. The Punisher is still moving through the bot lane, and they use that timing window that they have now to secure even more experience for themselves in the mid lane, where they're currently taking down another fort. Great play by NaVi here, really well done. And well, with that, they cannot take the camps away. And I mean, the more of the camps they take towards the right side of the map, the more potential pressure they also denied to Sandwich Monkeys. Sandwich Monkeys, they lose a Khazra camp. They could also lose the one up here at the top, of course. It depends a little bit on how, where, or when that level 16 talent is going to hit. Alex needs to be careful here. BKB already spotted what's going on. So the 2 teams are just like trying to wait out what's going to happen here. One of them is maybe going to go for it. But at this point, nobody is really trying to risk it. Fawcett, on the other hand, is currently at the top lane, securing the final experience points for level 16. And now they could move in and take the camp, and that's exactly what they do. So a lot of patience here, waiting for the extra talent. And that's really important in Heroes of the Storm, that you choose your timings right. If they would have attacked this earlier without those little bits, those 3 minions, it would have been a fight on even talents, and they didn't want that. They wanted to have the advantage. And here comes that lockdown against ETC. Again, the palm. He's trying to get away, and he's able to escape that. The palm's absolutely on point. Really well done. So now the camp is moving in. Camp was, by the way, stolen away. That's really where that, especially that level 7 talent comes in. The loudspeakers here, the camp was stolen, so NaVi did all the work. The camp was stolen away. They tried to go for the kill, but that didn't really work out. After, like, in hindsight, it worked out. It really worked out for the Sandwich Monkeys. It was pretty alright. But it was also, of course, a risk of ETC to just like move in and try to get that kill. It wasn't really too easy for them to make that happen. So once again, we're seeing camps taken on the map, and keep in mind that the next shrine is going to be announced very soon. By then, though, we should see the Sandwich Monkeys also with the level 16 talents, and then it's going to be a fight on even talents again. But they already lost quite a few of their forts, and that's of course a big disadvantage, because NaVi hasn't really lost anything just yet. They lost a couple of towers, but that's all there's to it, so they didn't really lose a fort yet, whereas 2 of them are already down, and especially the one in the mid lane, where we have the next shrine now started again. There's a 16 talent though, and that of course means that we have the extra damage, but look at that vision alone. I mean, Zagara has done a great job. Crosby was everywhere with those creep tumors, making sure that he gets that. And with that, they are now in a position where they have good vision about what's going on. Circle of Life has been taken. The Wind Fury build is advancing here. So again, the fight about to start. And well, with that, we are having both of the teams starting to go straight for that Mortar Punisher that this time is going to be there already. Uh-oh, ETC! The Palm again. I mean, Palms galore here today. And now Zagara in trouble. Zagara not healed fast enough. The Maw is there, but it's too late. AD with the damage attempt. They go for the kill against Thor though, and they get it. They get the kill. Zagara is down, but they can still go for ATC. Here comes the Mosh Pit. Mosh Pit is there. Heal against Eternal. Great, keeping him alive. The Mosh Pit only disrupting them for a little bit. Zarmony being attacked once again, but gets away. BKB on the other hand wants to go for the power slide. Can do that. Wow. They all survive, just barely. No hit points left on these boys, but still they are alive. No. Oh, wow. Vala taken down. Eternal went deep. Looked for it, got the kill, and now, of course, that is a great situation once again. Yeah, Vala trying to just like be a bit too far out, went for a bit of a greedy TP there. Eternal, on the other hand, finds himself in a similar spot where he's suddenly up against 2, but he's just zoning for the rest of his team, and they get the Punisher, Mortar Punisher now for them. 18 versus 16 versus 17 currently the levels, and we're seeing the Punisher move through the mid lane. It's still a 5 versus 4 as Vala is still down, has not been back to business yet. Another 8 seconds until we're going to see her, so she will be able to defend here, but still this attack will definitely drop the ball. And of course, if NaVi can go for the keep, then they will use that chance, but the chances of that happening are a little bit smaller. But they really want it. They go past the towers, they ignore them for now, and they try to go for the keep. It's not going to be easy, but they're definitely going to try, and at this point it could actually succeed. The Punisher is still fighting. The keep is down on half HP. Here comes the jump. They're trying to go for the follow-up against Sport Billy, but Danatan is also be careful. Keep is about to fall, and yes, it's down. Alex gets healed, nice, they move away, and a great Mighty Gust once again helping with the disengage, so they can just like simply call it a day for now, move back and fight later. They're close to level 20 now already, and that of course is going to help them even more. Right now the damage output is extremely solid for them. Zagara is still holding the numbers here with the 37,000. There's massive vision on the map thanks to her of course as well. Siege damage 91,000 for Falstad. And I mean, we've already been talking a bit about Falstad and his auto attacks, but overall, if you look at it, we're currently seeing him on 29 extra damage at this point. So 29 extra damage on his part. And we're having at the same time now towards the left side also Grandpa Keta and Alex just looking for an opportunity to soak a bit more experience if they hit level 20, and they have a 1.5 level lead now over their opponents. So the situation for the Sandwich Monkeys is really getting worse. They need to make some kind of play. They need to win a team fight to come back into this, and it's really not going to be easy for them. Not at all, especially now that camps are going to be taken again. But this would be a fight on even talents once again, but ETC isn't there. ETC is still missing. NaVi doesn't really know that 100% though. They want to play this safe, and so they move away. But up at the top, we are seeing Zarmony trying to go for Danatan. Look how close that level 20 talent is. NaVi wants that 20. They really need that now, and there they finally get it. Epic mount. We have Rega immediately with the Storm Shield. Also Sonya now with Ignore Pain, her own version of the Hardened Shield. And we see the Indestructible. Great talents taken here, and this is of course a disaster right now for the Sandwich Monkeys. They are so close to qualifying for the winner bracket final, but this is all about the next shrine, and this shrine is active at the bot lane, and this is going to attack another keep here right away. They could try to fight up here at the top. Sonya is starting to move in. Here comes the attack. BKB is there. They are going for the Maw. Maw isolates BKB. He goes straight. He goes down. That mosh pit didn't really last long. Wolves is attacked as well. They could theoretically try and go for core right now. Here comes the triple kill. They're moving in against Sport Billy. If they get Zarmony too, who tries to go for Danatan, yeah, Zarmony was, it's a wipe. It's a wipe, and that's going to be game. They start to move through the middle, and they go straight for the kill. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be NaVi moving on to the winner bracket final. Incredible play by the team here today. An intense series in the semifinals against the Sandwich Monkeys, but the victor is NaVi. They make it happen. Great play here by them. And congratulations, they advance with a 2-0 victory over the Sandwich Monkeys. GG, and well played. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is GG and the end of another series here on KhaldorTV with Heroes of the Storm. So once again, we have another video finished, and I hope that you enjoyed the commentary and that you liked the game, of course, as well. It was a pleasure casting the match for you. And if you guys really enjoyed it, then make sure that you give that video a thumbs up on YouTube. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, feel free to do that too. If you have friends that are interested in Heroes of the Sports esports scene, then definitely recommend the channel to them, or just show them the video if they want to see like a bit how the pros are drafting here, especially of course when it comes to the North American scene, European scene. And I mean, these days we even have a couple of Chinese games on the channel here, so I hope that you enjoy that as well. That being said, thank you very much for watching again. I'm going to see you guys next time with more Heroes of the Storm content here on the channel. Have a great day and enjoy your week, and see you soon. Bye bye.